What is that glass? What are you?
Huh?
You're drinking out of a jar.
Oh yeah, it's a mason jar. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And this is how we're starting the episode. Welcome to Comfort Zone, a podcast all about pushing your hosts, well, outside of their comfort zone. I'm Christopher Lawley, and each week I am joined by two incredible co-hosts, and this week we're all back together. As always, I am joined by Matt Birchler. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad we are all back together this week. And we're recording on a day I don't work, so I'm actually way off my schedule, and I just finished my breakfast. I just scarfed down a breakfast burrito
Ooh,
2 seconds
nice.
ago. So I'm feeling great.
Breakfast
Nice.
burrito. Okay.
I was gonna have a slice of Danielle's birthday cake for breakfast, but instead I had to fix a garbage disposal. That was the whole thing. But we're also joined by Niléane. Niléane, how are you doing?
Hello, I am back. I am fine. I survived a heat wave that was horrendous. It's on its way down. I don't know how to say it. It's about to go away, fortunately, until it comes back, probably in a few days, because this is the times we live in. And I'm doing well.
Nice. Yeah, it's only gonna be 95 degrees here today. So it's only sort of scorching hot. So, but anyways, we have a big show for you all this week. But first, we have some tiny topics. Niléane, I think you have a couple for us.
Yes. So I will have a main topic that will be dramatic.
Ooh.
But first, I have two things to mention. In episode 49, that was a few weeks ago, I recommended a small Mac utility that is still called Folder Preview. And what this does is when you install it, when you press spacebar on your Mac in Finder on a folder, it will let you preview what's inside the folder. And it also works with zip files. And that's extremely useful. That's really neat. There's one huge caveat that I want to mention to this utility, which I have since uninstalled because of that caveat, which is that I found out that, so I have a 256 gigabyte MacBook Air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that fills up quickly sometimes. And I don't know why. Like when it does fill up completely, I don't know why. It's always an investigation because macOS sucks at showing you what's eating up all your storage.
Oh, it's always like the Mac OS system using
Yeah.
100 gigs, and it's like some cache.
Yeah, it's some cache somewhere. Good luck figuring it out. And maybe you reboot your Mac and it's gone. Maybe it's not gone. So this time I found out that Folder Preview was eating up about 20 gigabytes.
Oof.
On my Mac in some cache folder. I got rid of that so fast. And you know
Wow.
that feeling when you delete a huge thing on your small SSD and you're like, oh my God, suddenly I have storage left. and yeah, it felt like that. So anyone who also has a small SSD in their MacBook, and if you have installed Folder Preview, look out for that. Maybe it will happen to you. And it's okay. I uninstalled it. It's very useful, but it's not super essential. So it's all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second thing that I want to mention is, I'm a trackpad girl.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
On my desk, I have an external Magic trackpad. For a few weeks, I've been using something else.
Ooh.
I got a mouse.
What
And
mouse?
I got the MX Master 3S from Logitech.
Nice.
a great mouse.
Nice.
It's a great. Oh, you have one, yeah.
Mine's over there.
And I just want to mention that it's great. I had one MX Master before. It was the very first one, the original MX Master. I had it, and I had it for years. That thing was not dying. It kept going, but it did die at some point a few years ago, and then I switched over to a range of mice, then the trackpad for a while. But lately, my what's that called? Your
Oh, like RSI or
No, what's that body part called?
Arthritis?
an ankle or
Yeah, my ankle.
a
Sorry.
wrist. A wrist.
Wrist.
My wrists.
Wrist.
Yeah, ankle is on the foot.
Head,
Yes.
shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes.
I'll figure it out
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. Not a native English speaker, as you can tell. So yeah, my wrist started to hurt lately. So yeah, I decided to go for a real mouse. Installed something that allows that adds a smooth scrolling to your Mac.
Yes.
Because
I think the Logitech software gives you an option to
yeah,
do
but
the
that
smooth
sucks.
scroll.
That's
Oh,
barely
okay.
smooth. I don't know why
okay.
it's called smooth scrolling. Doesn't smooth anything. I don't know why what it does. I installed something called MOS. MOS. It's a open source thing on GitHub. It's free, and it just does that. It lets you. It makes it very smooth to scroll with a regular scroll wheel. And you can tweak the speed and the length of the animation and how slow it bounces up and down. So it's really nice. I want to recommend that. And that's it.
Nice.
That's really
That's
cool.
what happened while I was away, except for my main topic of the day.
Okay. Now, I will say for people that have like wrist or hand pains, like RSI issues or arthritis, vertical mice, and I know Logitech have one, actually really do help. Like a few years ago, I had some issues, and I used a vertical mouse for at my day job, and it really did help with that kind of like wrist RSI pain. But yeah, trackpads aren't great for those for those pains.
Yeah.
I've got one here. It's the Logitech, what is it called? Lift.
Lift. Yeah. I think that's the one I use too.
Yeah, it's got a quiet click.
Yeah, quiet click is the way to go.
Yeah, they have the MX vertical, but I don't think it's quiet. And I think it's great. I've been using it on and off. I just think it's too small. I don't even have a big hand, but when I hold it, so this is very video heavy, sorry, but when I hold it like that, so as you meant to, my pinky is off the side, and so if you're on the desk, my pinky is just like constantly hitting the desk. It should be taller, is what I'm saying, for my whole hand to fit comfortably on the mouse. So that's why it's not ideal for me.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I like the MX Master 3S. It's a good mouse. But it doesn't work well with the iPad.
No, it does
and that's
not.
on iPad on Apple because for some reason they do not support third-party mouse scrolling.
They don't work great.
They don't scroll well. I don't know why Apple doesn't address this. It's been this way ever since they added mouse support.
But even on the Mac, like it's crazy how scrolling with a regular mouse on the Mac is just janky as heck. I mean, it's okay. It's not as bad as on the iPad, but it should be like at least smooth when you scroll with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt disagrees. Okay.
You know what I do when because I get wrist pain as well.
Yeah.
I go to the iPad. Because a touchscreen does not. I have no issues when using a touchscreen.
Now, let me float an idea past you, Matt. And I know you've never thought of this before. But like, what if you were to have a MacBook, like say a MacBook, but then maybe you could like fold the screen over and like then touch the screen. Like it's just a concept. I know you have never personally thought of it, and you're probably like on the fence about wanting something like that. But that would probably fix your issues.
Yeah, I actually thought it was better that I had to switch all the apps and the operating system I used when I started to get wrist pain. But like this is actually a better idea. What if it could just be one? This is a good thing. I'll think about this.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, just some food for thought. You can definitely go out and buy one of those right now. All right, let's get into the main show. Unless anybody else has anything. All right. Well, I have an idea for a topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about because I've kind of been rethinking this, but I want to talk about our gaming setups. Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. There's been a few other things that have been happening. And like my whole setup has changed a lot in the last like year and a half since Danielle and I moved in together. I used to live by myself, so hogging the TV wasn't really a big deal. I could sit there and play on the TV all day long if I wanted to, and nobody would care. But since Danielle and I moved in together, you don't want to be the person playing a single player game while the other person just sits there and watches. That's no fun. So I've kind of been really, rethinking my whole setup, and I could go through mine first, and I do have a couple questions for you guys, but for me, like everyone probably has like the main thing that they go to for big AAA games. And for me, it's the Xbox Series X. I think I've talked a little bit about on the show that I've been kind of curious about building a gaming PC, but every time I think about it and look into it, I'm like, man, once I do that, I got to deal with updates. I got to make sure games are configured correctly. I'm going to want to deal with mods and all that stuff. And honestly, when I sit down to play a game, I just want to turn it on and it works. And one of my favorite things about the Xbox Series X is the quick resume. I turn it on. I want to resume a game. I click it, and it just jumps back exactly where I was. There's no loading screens. You don't have to go through any menus or anything like that. You just jump into it. And with a Windows computer, I just don't want to deal with the maintenance of it.
Yeah. Well, I will say it's not as bad as it used to be.
Okay.
And if you get a nice PC, which Chris, I know you would, you don't have to worry about those settings. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to deal with the Windows aspect of it.
Oh,
so
for sure.
To kind of jump ahead, I talked on the show probably about a year ago. I got the Legion Go, and that is one of those handheld portable Windows gaming PCs. And it is a full PC. It has Windows 11 running on it. Like I could throw Microsoft Office on there and type in Word if I really wanted to. That would be miserable, but I absolutely could do it if I wanted to. That has basically gone out the window because I was just constantly having to deal with updates for it. I was constantly having to figure out, okay, and it's a handheld gaming PC, so like there is a aspect of like, is this thing powerful enough to run this certain game? So there was a lot of games where I was like, okay, it's not quite running the way I wanted it to. And then there was like the gaming PC level on top of it, of where like you had controller support, and it was trying to emulate an Xbox controller. So if the game had support for Xbox controllers, which most games do, it should just work. But boy, like there was just like this level to it that like it didn't always work consistently, and I just found that to be frustrating. So the Legion Go has kind of been out for me. So like the Xbox Series X is where I play big AAA games, and I'll play them during the day while Danielle's at work, or I'll play them like while she's doing her own thing or something like that. So I'm not really hogging the TV. But really lately for me, the Nintendo Switch has been where it's at. Even before the Switch 2 came out, like I was playing the Switch OLED, and like the Nintendo Switch 2 is like, honestly, since that has come, that's the only thing I've touched. I haven't played a single game anywhere else. This is where obviously I play all the Nintendo games because those will never go anywhere else but a Nintendo console. So, Mario Kart, Zelda, Mario games, Animal Crossing, those kinds of games obviously are all played there. But I also play all like the indie games and stuff on the Switch too. And or Switch 1 before that. And it's just like a great place for like indie games. Like right now there's a big sale going on the Nintendo eShop, and I just bought a bunch of games last night that I've been wanting to play for a while that have just been on my wish list. And I'll sit down and I'll go through them. Like Cult of Lamb has been a game that I've been told I need to play, and I haven't been doing it. It was on sale. Unicorn Overlord was another game I've heard a lot about that I've kind of heard it's like Fire Emblem-esque. That was on sale. So like I just got those, and I've been loving the Switch 2 so much. I've been playing it a lot in handheld mode, even though it's not great ergonomically. But this way I can play while Danielle's watching her show, or Danielle's playing her game on the Xbox or something like that. Like we can play games together, and it works out great that way. And I've just been really liking that. But I do have one other thing that I've been using. And give me 1 second.
Here we go. I knew there'd be a twist at some point.
Oh, it's purple. What is
It's purple. So this right here is the Aeon Odin Portal 2. And if you're a listener of the NPC podcast, the sister podcast with John, Federico, and Brendan, you'll know kind of what this is. This is an Android device. I own an Android device. I, Christopher Lawley, own an Android device.
Wow.
And a Windows PC, but they're both gaming handhelds. This, for the audio listeners, so it is a device running Android. It has it's controllers built in. It kind of looks like the Switch Lite is what it looks like. And I actually have this like ergonomic case on it. If I take it off, it looks even more like the Switch Lite.
Oh.
This right here has an OLED display. It's like a 7-something inch OLED display. It also has really nice controllers, really nice thumbsticks. It's got like the extra buttons on the back that you can program. It has a Snapdragon something something processor. I don't remember what those are.
That covers Android for the past 20 years.
Yeah. It's got like there's different tiers that you can buy. This one is the middle tier, which has 500 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM, but you can go all the way up to a terabyte and 16 gigs of RAM. And what this is great for is emulating games. So I ripped a bunch of my Game Boy games, Super Nintendo games, all sorts of different stuff a few years ago, and I have been using this to play those games. This is fantastic. I absolutely love this thing. I've been, with emulator games and ROMs and stuff like that, there's a bunch of things you can do with it. So like you can modify them. So like some games, like if they like originally were just 4x3 games, there are mods out there so that you can force them to be like 16:9, so they fill in the rest of the aspect ratio and stuff like that. This thing
mods can be good.
What's that?
Mods can be good.
Mods can be good. And see, that's the thing, is this is my device that I go crazy modifying with because I find it to be fun and not frustrating. And maybe it's my background in IT, but I find Windows to be frustrating to modify. Like I like stuff on Windows. I just don't like doing it. I don't have fun doing it. And the benefit of this thing though is there is a micro SD card with it right there. That you can put all your stuff on. So if you want to go and modify stuff, you just take the micro SD card out, plug it into your computer, do all the mods, copy all the files over, and then you just put it in here. It's not like the Legion Go where you're having to sit there and use the virtual on-screen keyboard or something like that to type, which Windows virtual on-screen keyboard sucks. But the other benefit of what this has is it has Wi-Fi 7. So I have been using this to also stream games from Xbox Cloud. So there is an Xbox app that you can use to stream games. It's not great. There is a third-party app that you actually have to sideload, but because this is Android, it's incredibly easy to sideload, called Better xCloud. And with that, you can set up a whole bunch of settings. You can set the bit rate, you can set the resolution, you can set desired frame rate, you can set a whole bunch of different settings in there. And like I just turned it up to maximum, and I was playing like Borderlands 3 on this, which is a very chaotic game, and it was fantastic. It was like I was playing it natively on console. I was able to shoot things, I was able to it was fantastic. I was surprised how well it works. So I have been using this to stream games that support Xbox Cloud, which is basically anything on Game Pass supports Xbox Cloud now, and some other stuff as well. So I've been really enjoying this as kind of like I'm going to sit down and play Xbox games, but be able to stream them while in bed or while Danielle's playing something else. It works really, really well together. I do also have the Analog Pocket, but this has kind of replaced the Analog Pocket for me as like if I'm going to play like a Game Boy game or something like that, I've kind of just been going to this guy. But that's kind of my setup. I'm kind of curious what your guys' setup looks like.
Not much has changed since I last talked to you about Flight Simulator.
Okay.
So I was at first playing it via whatever Microsoft, what it's called, Xbox Cloud, whatever.
Yeah, Xbox
that
Cloud.
never works. Yeah, I was using that. That was terrible. And then I subscribed to a service, a cloud gaming service that's called Shadow. It's owned by OVH nowadays, I believe. OVH is a French company that mainly deals in web services. Like you can rent dedicated servers. They deal in data centers. Yeah. Anyway, I believe it's about 20% of all Mastodon servers that are hosted in OVH data centers. And then there's Hetzner and anyway.
Huh. Weird. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm using that service, and it's been pretty great. I don't play a lot of games, as you may know. I still play a bit of Flight Simulator from time to time. It's been running great in that. So what you get with this is a full PC. So when you install a client on your Mac, you launch the client, and then you get a full screen Windows desktop. And you can do whatever you want with it.
Oh, okay.
Some people use this just to work and they don't play any games at all. They have, in fact, they have a lower tier where the graphics card is not much. It's just for people who want to work on a Windows PC remotely for some reason in a cloud PC.
Huh.
But my tier, I had a discount at some point. I believe it was for Black Friday, and it's an unlimited discount. So like if I keep renewing it, I will still get the discount forever. And mine costs 76 euros per 3 months. So that's
not bad.
Maths. That's about 25 euros per month. And that offer, it's all right. So you can stream 4K up to 120 FPS.
Wow.
Yeah. So if your connection can support that, it's great. I don't even have a 120 FPS screen. I guess my phone. Yeah, and you can install it on your phone. But yeah, I use it on my Mac, and they have an Apple TV client as well, which is amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
And yeah, that's amazing. So you launch the Apple TV client, you have a full Windows desktop on your Apple TV, which is insane. You cannot use it at all. Like, how do you even control the mouse? I have no idea. And I have not figured it out. Maybe they have a compatibility mode with controller. But what we've done, so I don't even have controllers. I have a Stadia controller, but that's not been working great lately. So I have the Nintendo Switch controller Pro, the Pro controller.
Oh, yeah.
I have that paired to the Apple TV in the living room. And I can use that with that cloud PC. And so what I've done, because you cannot control the Windows PC on the Apple TV, you cannot control the mouse, I have enabled the Steam Big Picture interface. So if you're not familiar, that's the big interface that you can navigate easily with a controller. That's the interface that they have enabled by default on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a very regular console-like interface where you can browse through your game library and the shop, and it's easy to navigate with a controller. So now in the living room, when I launch the Shadow app, it just gets into Steam, and it's just like launching it to a game console, and that's been working great. We've been playing a bunch of tiny games in this way in the living room, and I got a bit of good news recently, which is that they have informed me that my offer will be upgraded at the same price, like the machine will be upgraded. I'm guessing they're upgrading all of their machines at this tier. So it says at the latest on the 15th of July, so probably soon. My machine will get a GTX, what is RTX 4060? I don't even know if that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
I have no idea. I just know that currently the machine had a 1060, I believe, or something like that.
That'll be a significant upgrade.
That's a big jump.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's great. And more RAM. I believe it's going up from 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's good. And the price remains the same. I'm not sure if the price remains the same because I have the discount that's indefinitely going.
I
Or
mean, if probably like you have an
Probably.
indefinite discount.
yeah, that's how it works, I guess. So that's been great, and that's just it. I have a Nintendo Switch first generation, as you know, because anyway, and yeah, that's it. And lately, I've not been playing anything apart from Flight Simulator. I played a bit of Euro Truck Simulator again because the Greece DLC came out, so now you can
Ooh.
drive through Greece, and they announced an Iceland DLC. I'm
Ooh.
excited for that one, and that's it.
Iceland's high on my list of places I want to visit.
Well,
I
yeah,
think-
with Euro Truck Simulator, your dream
You can do
becomes
it
true.
now.
I think I want to
Yeah.
go in person, but yeah.
The DLC is not out yet, so not now,
Oh,
but
okay.
probably in a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that the streaming setup works for you. I'm glad that works for you.
Yeah, we have a great connection, fiber connection here, and it's been working amazingly. Our Wi-Fi is terrible. We have an old router provided by our ISP from years ago, and it's got Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz, and that's it. And it doesn't go through walls. I'm in this room right now where as you remember, I had to run a huge, a huge Ethernet cable to this computer to take advantage of my connection. And I don't want to upgrade. My ISP provides better routers, and I could get that for €10. I don't want to bother. I'm
Yeah,
okay.
it's like a whole thing when you gotta upgrade your router. Like I
I
Yeah.
never
never
want
doing
to talk
it.
to my ISP. Yeah.
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 Yeah, my ISP router is basically in modem mode right now, and I use my own routers. Like,
Yeah, I could do that as well, I guess.
yeah, yeah. Matt, what about you? What's your setup look like?
Mine's a little more maximalist. So let's start from the smallest and then get bigger.
Okay.
So, like you,
Wow.
I have an analog pocket.
Nice.
Which I love because it plays actual Game Boy games.
Nice.
This is the one that I bought in 2001, 2, whenever Golden Sun came out. But
Oh,
it is,
nice.
yeah,
I couldn't
it is
see
a
what game it
thrill.
was. Yeah.
It's a thrill to be able to just like pop in these cartridges and they just pick up where I left off. It's great. And like you, I may have loaded my collection on here, so I don't need to have the cartridges. I think it's blowing out the screen, but
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All we can see is a black line, but I
perfect. But that black line represents so many fun games from my childhood, which I get to play on that. And I love, this is the way I will play Game Boy games because this feels right.
It does.
I don't like playing them on a bigger screen.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I love the analog pocket. My thing is I don't like managing multiple devices. Yes, you can technically move your save files back and forth between ROM devices, and there's ways to kind of get that to sync, but does it work? I don't know. I mean, it's not going to work with the analog pocket.
Yeah.
You'd have to have Android devices, but
Sure.
I just like being able to pick up one device, and it is annoying when I don't have a game that supports I can't get a game to support 16:9 on the Odin or on the Odin Portal 2. But yeah, the analog pocket does just feel right for Game Boy games, especially like classic Game Boy games, like Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah. And what I love about it is there's no internet on this at all. It never gets software updates. Kind of back to our conversation last week about pro apps that only update when you need them to. This thing just works. It just works. It never phones home. It never bothers me about an update. Like, it's
Nice.
lovely.
But you can update it, and if you got it when it originally updated, there's now an update, or got it when it originally came out, there's now an update that supports Super Nintendo games. So it might be worth doing the
interesting.
firmware update. Yeah, so I have my Super Nintendo games on I think Super Nintendo and the original NES. There might be something
Okay.
else it supports too, but I did do a firmware update on mine, and all my Super Nintendo games are on there, and it's a great device to play them on.
Interesting. Okay. Well, getting larger, we have this.
Ooh. Oh.
Is that a DS?
It's a 3DS.
Nice.
And this, I never owned a normal DS or a 3DS. I just missed those generations. And so I never got to play any of those games. I got into the Pokemon franchise like for the first time since the 90s last year. Played a couple games, and apparently the heyday of the Pokemon series were these DS and 3DS games. And so I want to play some of those. And I wanted to play the 3DS one because I've never seen the 3D screen, and it's kind of cool. So I picked this up on eBay a couple months ago, and it's a delight. The screen isn't great for modern standards. I would love an analog version of this with like the 10x resolution, but the 3D effect is cool. And you can jailbreak it so that you can do whatever you want with it. And that's lovely. So you can't get games for it now. So I've got a cartridge in mine that I'm playing. I'm playing Zelda Link Between Worlds, which is a fun game, it turns out. You can turn into just paint on the wall and you kind of shimmy back and forth. It's lovely.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's great. It's so fun. And it feels just so good to play. Feels pretty solid and like is the sort of Nintendo hardware that you can just like throw on the ground and most of the time it'll survive. I'm not
the
gonna test it.
2DS. The 2DS was like the child Nintendo DS. That thing was indestructible. Like you could drop a nuke on that thing and it'd be
Was that the
fine.
wedge one that didn't
Yeah.
fold?
It was like
What a
no
strange
hinge, no
product.
nothing. Like it was designed so you could give it to a kid and they can't break it.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest gaming regrets is selling my 3DS. So basically selling any old Nintendo console. I have a couple of them still. Like I have my Nintendo 64, but I sold my GameCube because the Wii could play GameCube games. But like there's just something about the GameCube that was just fantastic. And I sold my 3DS as well, and I regret selling those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've sold all my old consoles because I had no money. And what you don't realize is that eventually you'll want those again, and then they will be more expensive to repurchase them.
Yep.
But
I
such
had
is life.
the original Nintendo DS.
You did?
and-
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a Christmas gift, I believe.
Little Mario
I mean, I was a
Kart.
small child, so.
I never had the original one. I went straight to the 3DS. But the nice thing about the 3DS is it could play DS games. So
Do you remember PictoChat? Did the 3DS have PictoChat?
I think it did, but I wasn't really into that.
That was so fun. At
I
school.
missed all the like because I wasn't there for the original DS stuff. I missed all the whimsical stuff with it.
Mm.
Like I missed the second Animal Crossing game. Like the Animal Crossing game I played on the DS was New Leaf, which is a great one. But yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go quick because I still have 3 devices. Third biggest is
Holy
Steam
smokes,
Deck.
that's big.
nice.
I love. It's slightly bigger than the Switch 2, but if you can see on video, the killer thing that it has over the Switch 2 is actual controllers that you can actually. Yes. So
Why didn't Nintendo do that?
The new Switch is better than the original one, but yeah, I love the Steam Deck. It's more of like a console than a PC. It just opens up, Niléane, you know the interface. It just opens up, here's your list of games, you just pick the game, and it just works. I love the Steam Deck.
Does the Steam Deck have like a quick resume thing, kind of like the Xbox?
Yes. Well,
Oh, that's cool.
not exactly. The Xbox does it better than anyone else because you can have like multiple games, I think, frozen. in
Oh, yeah,
time.
and you could have multiple people. Like, if I'm playing a game and then Danielle starts playing her game and then I go back to my game, it resumes. So
Yeah. No, it'll pause a single game and then you can resume it, but that's it. So similar to like the PS5,
Okay.
Switch, everything but Xbox. So, yeah. So that's the other one. I love that. That's where I play a lot of all my lower end PC games or mid range PC games. It's just fun. There's an F1 manager game that I may be in the top 0.1% of the world of people who play. I treat it like a
Weird.
screensaver. I play it like while I work. It's just off to the side, and I'm like having practice sessions go and races and qualifying. It's a wonderful game. Anyway, that's a rabbit hole. We had enough F1 talk last week.
And we have some more coming for the challenge.
We have some more coming for the challenge. The last two, Switch 2, which you already talked about. Very happy with it. Just want more games that are made for it. That'd be great. And then the last thing, my baby, is my gaming PC, which I love. It ruined consoles for me.
Give us some specs.
The specs. So it is an Intel i7, I want to say a 13700K CPU. It is one of the ones that had those overheating problems that Intel had to fix with a firmware update. So got to I don't even know what the phrase is. I had to go deep into the BIOS to fix that one. That was not fun.
And that is why I don't want a Windows gaming PC.
Yep, you'll be fine. So that's the CPU. It has an NVIDIA RTX 4070 Super GPU, which plays effectively every game that I want at 4K, at least like 60 hertz, usually more like 100. 64 gigs of RAM, and whatever else is interesting. I don't know. Upgradable storage. I can put as much storage in there as I want. What a concept.
And is that yeah, I know, right? And is that plugged in at your office, like at your monitor where you work, or is that plugged into your TV?
Yes.
Where's that plugged in at?
It's in the office, so it's where I am now. So I've got my Mac plugged in now, but I just move the Thunderbolt cable over to the PC, and then that's using all the accessories and everything. So very easy to switch around.
Nice. So yeah, so it is so it's Thunderbolt for the video card. You're not using DisplayPort.
It's USB-C as DisplayPort.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Whatever it does, but whatever it's doing, I get the full DisplayPort. It's like 2.1 specs, so I'm getting a 4K monitor at 240 hertz.
Jeez,
it's yeah.
That's right. We've talked about that. That's wild. That is wild.
Yes. Yeah. So crazy. I actually use it at 144 hertz just because I never get that frame rate anyway in games. So I feel like I should let the monitor rest. I don't know if that's a rational thing. I feel like it's working harder if it's doing a higher frame rate.
Sure.
Yep. Well, that's really interesting. Thank you guys for that information. I like that we have a spread of different opinions when it comes to our gaming setups. None of us are the same, other than we all have Nintendo Switches. But yeah, I do have a question for you guys. And Niléane, you kind of already alluded to this, but what games are you guys currently playing? What are you currently playing? For me, like I said, I haven't really put down the Switch 2 since I got it. So I've been playing Mario Kart World, obviously, but I've been going back and playing Tears of the Kingdom because I actually never finished that game on the Switch. I can't remember why I didn't finish it. Something else must have came out, or I must have got busy with something, but I never finished it. So I've been going back and I'm doing all the side quests, all the main quests. My goal is to not 100% it, but do a vast majority of it. And something that I've actually been enjoying, I thought it was going to be kind of a joke, but the Zelda Notes app. So the Zelda Notes is part of the Switch 2 upgrade for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. It's built into the Nintendo Switch iOS and I'm guessing Android app. But there's a Zelda Notes feature in there, and there's a few things. There's daily bonuses, and you can check your progress of how many shrines have you done, how many Korok seeds have you done, stuff like that. But they also have a map, and the map shows everything. Shows where all the shrines are, shows where all the Korok seeds are, shows where all the caves are, shows where all the wells are, shows where everything is. And as somebody that I like exploration in games, but Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are huge, and I just don't have that kind of time anymore. I don't have video game time like I did when I was a kid or a teenager. I'm an adult now with a business and a girlfriend and family and all that stuff, so I don't have that kind of time. So just being able to take the Zelda Notes app, see oh, here's a Korok seed, here's the shrine, here's a whatever, and just do those things really quickly is really, really nice. I will say it gives me a theory. So you guys know how the Nintendo Switch 2 has 2 USB ports?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that top one wasn't just meant for the camera. I have a feeling there's an accessory coming later that's going to be a second screen, and that's how you're going to emulate like, because you know how they do like the retro game consoles and stuff now, like through Nintendo Switch Online. This is how they're going to do DS and 3DS games, is they're going to have a second screen that you can plug into that USB port. And I think that was originally how they intended for the Zelda Notes app thing to work, because it is so awkward sitting there trying to play handheld and then have your phone off to the side. And like, it doesn't even work if I dock my Nintendo Switch and sit on the couch. It's too far away and it doesn't even communicate. So I think the second screen is how they are really meant for you to use the Zelda Notes thing.
But
anyways, that's just a theory.
But could they not just, like, for DS games, right? You're saying,
Yeah.
yeah, the aspect ratio for that is 4:3, right?
Yeah.
So you can fit the two screens side by side on the Nintendo
Yeah,
Switch's display,
but, you know, like,
and it's a touch screen.
yeah, but it's not the same. Like, you're supposed to have top to bottom for the DS.
Yeah,
like,
sure,
this is
but
why
it's
I think
a
it's gonna.
weird accessory to
That's why I
imagine.
think it would be optional. I think it'll be an
Yeah.
optional. I don't think it'll be required, but I think that top USB-C port, that's what that was originally meant for.
So it would be on top,
Yeah.
but that's even weirder.
Why?
Oh, that makes sense.
It's just like the DS.
Listen, the Switch 2 is so normal. It is a safe update. It's a great update,
Yeah.
but it is the safest Nintendo console I think they've maybe ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for some weirdness. Do something crazy.
I mean, sure, yeah.
What if they did cardboard VR headsets that you had to fold up yourself?
Oh God,
That
no.
sounds crazy, but they did it. I don't count anything out.
Remember
anything's
the
possible.
AR Mario Kart game? That was
Oh
fun.
yeah. I kind of wanted that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just my theory. It's a working theory, and it's kind of based off a theory. So Brendan on NPC, I think, had that theory a while ago that they were going to do a second screen to emulate DS and stuff like that. But I'm kind of working off that theory of like, it's like the Zelda Notes app screams like, hey, this was actually meant to be like there all the time, because it's just awkward right now. And I even was like, I wonder if I could get like an iPhone holder that goes on, like mounts to the
God.
the Switch 2 and then goes on the. Anyways, that's a whole
That's
thing.
how
But
it starts, the modding.
anyway, yeah, right. Anyway, so Tears of the Kingdom, that's what I'm playing. Mario Kart World, that's what I'm playing as well. But after I finish Tears of the Kingdom, I really want to play Fantasy Life I. That looks like a really interesting game.
You've stolen my pick.
Sorry. Please talk about it, because it looks like this weird cross of like, it's a little Animal Crossing with like a little Zelda. Like, it looks really interesting. So, anyways, Matt, tell us about it and what else you've been playing.
It's kind of like, so Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time, is basically like Animal Crossing and Zelda mixed.
Nice.
It is a kind of a little Stardew Valley-y potentially as well. I'm very early. I'm only like an hour into it, but I've heard enough people really excited about it, so I picked it up. And I always want to get into these games, and I struggle to. So I think this one has more action, and that'll help me.
Currently, it is the second best-selling Nintendo Switch 2 game on the eShop.
Really? Wow.
Yes, it's beating out Cyberpunk right now.
Wowzer. But anyway, it's very nice. That's one actually where I bought it originally on Steam to play on my Steam Deck, and it didn't run as well as I thought it would, because it doesn't seem that crazy a game, but it actually does not run well on PC. And on the Switch 2, super smooth. Lovely.
I was about to, there's one game I want to play, like right now, but it's a multiplayer game, and I don't have any friends, and you guys hate me, so I can't play it. It's called Peak. Have you seen that? That game
No.
has been popping off lately on YouTube and Twitch and whatever. So it's a game where you are very small, like children-like climbers. It's very cartoony, and you climb up mountains, and you have to help each other to climb the mountain.
Ooh.
And you got to collect loot on the way up. And it's very fun. And it's got a bunch of like silliness in throughout the game, and you have to progress through several levels, and you gotta go as far as you can. And the thing, the very interesting thing that I found about it is the the levels, they reset every day, so it's the same level for everyone playing the game, but it resets every day. So
Oh,
Oh, so
every
it's like a
day,
daily game.
yeah, yeah, and but the levels are always the same, but like the but not the actual terrain that changes every day. So it's like procedurally generated or something, and that looks really fun. I want to find people to play with. To play with.
It looks like it's just on Steam. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, it's on.
yeah,
It's a
PC
PC game.
only. It's
PC
$8
only.
though.
I was about
Interesting.
to. Yeah, I suggested that to my partner, but they don't have a PC, and it's not. You can't run it on a Mac. They have a Mac. So yeah.
Well, if it works on the Legion Go, I could bust out the Legion Go for this.
Yeah, it looks better to play with a keyboard and mouse.
Oh, okay.
I've seen people play with on Twitch with a controller, but it looks better suited to keyboard and
I am
mouse.
so unbelievably bad at keyboard and mouse games. Like, unbelievably bad at keyboard and
Oh.
mouse.
How come?
I don't know. I'm way better at a controller, and I know like a keyboard and mouse is supposed to be more accurate, and like all the 360 no scope bros are gonna like they're like
Yeah, I was about to
gotta
say,
do.
you never grew up with Quake or the likes.
I did actually. Like I
Okay.
grew up playing PC games. I didn't have a console for a really long time. I played a lot of PC games. But just over time, I graduated, or I went shifted more towards consoles, and I've just gotten really bad at keyboard and mouse. But like I grew up playing, Quake, Mech Warrior, Descent, X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Like those were the games I grew up playing. And we did have a flight stick, which was really fun, but I also did keyboard and mouse as well.
Okay.
But anyways, that was an interesting topic. That was a lot of fun just kind of going through our gaming
Yes.
setups. I enjoyed that. Thank you guys for your input. Niléane, you have kind of been teasing us about your topic. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, it won't be long, but it's like I've been away, right? So you may come out of this hearing me thinking that I've been away because of this, but I promise, not related. I was away because work stuff. But basically, I will. Let's play a little game. I will tell you the story, and every couple of minutes, I will ask you to guess what happens next. Okay.
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 All right.
Okay. Just first things that comes to mind, so we don't spend a lot of time. So I wanted to try out macOS Tahoe. That's how the story starts. I do not want to upgrade my only Mac. I have only one Mac right now. So that's out of the question. I will not upgrade my Mac. So what I thought was, I'm going to install a VM. Install it in a VM just to, because there are some small things in Tahoe that I wonder about, and it's really hard to find information about them, like small settings that I want to check out if they've changed or not in macOS Tahoe. And so I wanted to check them out by myself. So I installed a utility that's been mentioned by a lot of folks because it's easy to use to set up a macOS VM. It's called Virtual Buddy. Okay. So I installed Virtual Buddy. I run. So it's very easy to use. You install it, and then there's a wizard that launches, and it tells you what you want to do. So macOS, you click through macOS, you set up the size, and then it does everything for you. It downloads the copy of macOS Tahoe, creates the VM, and you just have to sit back and wait until it boots. So now, guess what happens?
It installed Linux instead.
It installed Tahoe on your main drive, or on your main boot.
That would have been fun. That's
Oh,
not
phew.
it.
I was like, oh God, that's it, isn't it?
That's not
It's
it.
like,
It did
uh,
not install Linux either. I did click on macOS Tahoe correctly. No, what happens is my wallpaper disappears. Like on my
like on
Mac.
your main
On my
main
like
version of Mac OS that you
yes.
boot into.
On the host Mac, my wallpaper disappears. I have the gray wallpaper the same gray wallpaper that you see in the macOS recovery, right?
Uh-huh.
Dark gray. I'm like, okay, maybe that's a visual glitch. Some graphics drivers are resetting or whatever, but it stays there. My wallpaper stays gone for a while, so I start freaking out. And now is the next guess for you guys. I open system settings. Guess what I see in system settings.
A beautiful, well-designed app that everybody enjoys.
I'm going to guess system settings shows that your wallpaper is still there.
Okay, that's not it.
Oh, okay.
If I were you, what I see when I open system settings is nothing.
Oh, like nothing at all. Like it's just gray.
The window is empty.
Oh no.
The only thing in the system settings window that is showing is my avatar, my Apple account avatar, but I click on it and nothing happens. And one line in the sidebar, that's the general tab. But if I click on the general tab, that's empty. There's nothing there.
Oh no.
So like something is really bad is happening right now, and I don't know why or what. So I click back on the virtual. I want to mention everything else is working perfectly fine. Like
okay.
my other
all
apps
the
are
other
still
apps?
open. Safari, I'm still able to browse the web. So like imagine my Mac is half broken right now for some reason, and I can browse the web to search why. But I can't find anything, by the way. I'm typing things like virtual body, gray wallpaper, system settings gone. That's my Google query.
Sure.
Sure, and nothing shows up. So that's worrying. When I click on virtual body, it starts to freeze. So virtual body is like beach balling. Nothing's happening. So I choose the patience and I wait.
Wait.
I wait.
Okay.
Yeah, I wait
Okay.
about 45 minutes. And I will not have you guess what happens because nothing happens.
Honestly, that was going to be my guess. Nothing.
Yeah. So I force quit virtual body. And I'm like, okay, something's gone horribly wrong, maybe. Or maybe it's not gone horribly wrong. I can just try and reboot the Mac. So I reboot my Mac. And now, guess what happens?
It's
When
still
I
the
reboot
same.
the Mac.
It's still the same. Yeah.
Everything's
No
back to
wallpaper. System settings is blank.
Okay, yeah. You're close. Basically, yes, still no system settings, no wallpaper, but it's actually a bit worse because now things are missing from the UI. Control center is gone.
Oh my god. What did Virtual Buddy
What?
do to your
I
computer?
haven't. So spoiler alert. I still have no idea what happened.
Is it still like this right now?
No, you'll see.
Okay, I'm getting ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, I will not go through everything that's missing, but a bunch of things are missing, and I have permission prompts showing up. Like
Oh no.
some of my menu bar apps, like for example, the Fantastica, is telling me I can't access the calendar. So I click on allow, but nothing happens. So because there's no system settings, remember? Things like that. All my third-party apps run, but they can't access anything because there's no system settings. So I freak out, and I Google things and I can't find anything that relates to this. So what I end up doing is I boot back into macOS recovery and I try something. In macOS recovery, so you can restore things. You can restore parts of macOS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that you can restore using the migration assistant, I believe, is system settings. You can restore your macOS settings, right? So I do that. I was like, okay, let's maybe virtual body decided system settings needs to be gone. Let's just restore that. Again, that does not do the trick. Nothing changes. So now I want you to guess because I've solved it. I resolved the crisis, let's say, but guess how?
I'm gonna guess you had to completely reinstall macOS, like delete the wipe the drive and restart from scratch.
Different
I
guess?
think you just kept rebooting.
Okay,
Just-
so
Yeah,
Chris
just
is
reboot.
Chris is halfway there because I did try that next. I reinstalled completely macOS. And guess what? It did not change anything.
Oh my
I
god!
reinstalled macOS and it did not change anything. It's incredible. I have never seen that before. Something was deeply broken. So I must say that you can reinstall macOS from the recovery while keeping all your data. That's the thing that I did.
See, I think you're gonna have to. That's why I said you had to wipe everything.
Exactly. So that's why I said you were halfway there. What I ended up doing is I wiped the Mac. Completely wiped it. And then reinstalled macOS after that. And then restored a Time Machine backup. And Time Machine saved me big time. I have daily backups on a local SSD that's plugged in, stuck under the desk. So that's always plugged in. I'm so glad I have those backups. And I have to do that. It took me an entire day from the moment where at 9 o'clock in the morning I was excited about trying Tahoe in a VM to 9 in the evening when macOS was finally reinstalled with all my data restored. So this is an open channel. People, tell me what happened. Do you have any idea? People listening, I still have no idea. I'm keep searching for issues like that people may have had. I have no idea what happened. Why Virtual Body caused me to completely reinstall macOS.
You know what and this is gonna you're not gonna be happy about this, but the crazy thing is if you would have just installed macOS Tahoe as the main boot, you probably wouldn't have had any issues.
Yeah.
It probably would have just been fine.
Yeah, I've been having a great experience.
I could have directly upgraded to Tahoe, then decided I don't like it and gone back to Sequoia,
exactly
restored my I would have spent less time probably.
Yeah. That's wild. I have no idea what would cause this other than Virtual Buddy corrupted some, folder file in the library that's PSA, don't install Virtual Buddy because your Mac's not old. You have an M2 MacBook Air. That's not some old not supported Mac. It's a very common Mac that's out there. Oh, don't install Virtual Buddy, people.
Yeah, it's from Guy Rambo, who's a great developer. He's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Air Buddy, yeah.
Oh, I feel bad
Virtual
saying that
Buddy
because
is
he's
from...
a great developer.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's a weird.
That might be something to DM him about.
I don't know, guys.
I'm so sorry.
So I wanted to tell this story because I think it's fun to look back on. Very fun. Lots of fun was had. But yeah, so the conclusion to this is I've never seen Tahoe.
You still never seen it?
Still have not seen Tahoe.
Still haven't seen it.
Now, hear me out. Have you thought about trying it again?
No. No. I'm never touching that piece of software again.
No.
You know what? I'm never installing a VM in my life ever again on this machine. I will not do it. I guess it's taught me as well that it's okay to install macOS and restore from a Time Machine backup, because essentially I was back where I left it. Those Time Machine backups are pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The permissions will reset for some apps, but not all of them. That's weird.
That's
some
the worst thing.
apps, they don't ask you again, but Many apps, they will just reset everything. The permissions are all reset. But that's okay. Once you click through the 100 permission prompts, everything works fine.
How? Okay, quick tangent.
Yeah.
How for the permission prompts has Apple not realized that, like, hey, instead of popping up 5 permission prompts every time you install an app, why don't we just have one window that says, hey, we want access to all of this stuff, and you can either click allow on each
That would be
one
good.
or allow all. Like, just one window. And
That
have
could be
all
a
the
part of
permission
the
prompts there.
migration assistant when you restore a time machine
Yeah.
backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Time Machine, great. I used it the other day to, I had a sponsor come back to me and be like, hey, we want to do a second ad spot with you. But I had already deleted the project. And I was like, well, I don't really want to film that whole ad spot again. So I went in Time Machine, grabbed that old project, exported just the ad spot, deleted it again, and was good to go. Like, Time Machine's
Yay.
great. I mean, don't rely on
It's
it for an
great.
archive, but it's fantastic. I love Time Machine.
Yeah, saved me.
That is a wild story, Niléane. That was
That was my topic.
that
Yeah.
was a wild story.
And again, it's not the entire reason why I was gone last week. Although you may believe it. Yeah.
but I'm sorry you haven't got a chance to try Tahoe yet.
It's okay.
I haven't
The
tried
more
it either,
screenshots
so-
I see, the more afraid I am. So
That's
I wouldn't
that's
be
one I
afraid.
would probably wait until like mid-July into July to probably try out. You know, just
guys, we'll talk about it again, but I'm worried about Tahoe, like in a big way. I've never been so worried about a macOS release. But we'll talk about it.
We'll
sometime.
talk about it. I will say, as someone running all the betas, I have had the least issues on Tahoe of any of them.
Oh,
My
that's good.
iPad is a disaster. My iPhone hemorrhages battery and drops down to like 5 FPS
yeah.
daily. I don't know why. It's very strange.
We were out all day on Danielle's birthday. I planned like a whole day with her, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh my god, I have the beta on my phone. We're in her car, and like, don't even get me started on her car. Like, charging my phone in her car is just not a thing. So I'm just like, oh my god, I didn't bring an extra battery. This thing's gonna be dead. By the time I got home, I literally had 5% battery life.
The horror. Modern
It
horrors.
was not good. All right. Well, you guys ready to get in the challenge?
Well, yeah.
yes.
I have a question. What was the challenge? I was away.
Yeah. So Matt, it was your challenge. What would you have us do this week?
Okay, so normally, actually, I think I can still pull it up because I have the old document. So the challenge last week was, nope, here it is, integrate F1 into your digital workflow.
And I would like to clarify.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think this is going to go great for us. I think it's going to be a winner across the board.
So for your information, listener, I was made aware of the challenge. So I came back from Paris and I asked in the group chat, what's the challenge this week? And I'm told this prompt, and imagine my face. I have no idea. I'm like, so the first thing I thought is, okay, I'm going to do something with the F1 key and they'll never see it coming. And then Chris sends a message to say the F1 key doesn't count.
Yep.
All my hopes were gone.
Because I knew as soon as I said that, I was like, wait, Niléane's going to do something with the F1 key and not
first
actually
thing I
Formula
thought of.
One, which is what Matt intended.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a big Formula One conversation last week. I actually made a mistake last week. I said that Aston Martin was going to be using the Mercedes engines next year. No, they're going to be using the Honda engine next year, which actually I think helps prove my point that Max would go to Aston Martin because he has a good relationship with Honda. Anyways, that's my correction.
That's nice.
Matt, what did it was your challenge? What did you do for the challenge?
Would it be bad if I said I skipped it? That would be
Yes, it was your challenge.
I would commend you to install Virtual Body right now on your main Mac.
So I've just I messaged you guys a picture of my terminal.
Oh,
And what I did was I got the Aston Martin, who's not my favorite team, but I do think their car looks really, really nice. I got the Aston Martin colors and updated my terminal profile to use it.
Oh,
So
the colors, you mean?
the colors, yeah. So it's kind of got their like dark green as my terminal background. I'll try to make this the chapter art, and then I'm using kind of yellow as the main like text color with a lighter color there. But yeah, it's a little
That's
Aston Martin.
cute. I like it.
I like this. Yeah.
Does it change
I wish I
anything?
thought of that.
Does it make
Yeah.
me more productive? Probably not. Does it make
Nah.
me faster? Not based on the 2025 car.
Oh
no.
God, no! In fact, it'd probably make you slower.
Oh, I
But would it
understand
make Adrian
everything you're
Newey
saying.
happy if he walked by my desk? Sure. I think that's great.
I will say Aston Martin has a really good looking car, but you know what my favorite looking car was? A few years ago, the Alfa Romeo red and white one. That was a good looking car. Then their final year, they went red and black. It didn't look as good, but it was their second to the last year in Formula One. That red and white car with the green 4-leaf clover. Ooh, that looked good. That looked
good.
really nice.
So what did
So-
you guys do?
So I did two things actually. I did two. So the first one, and I think the one that probably counts the most, is I listened to the Formula One Hans Zimmerman soundtrack while I worked. For the
Okay.
Formula One movie. The Formula One movie soundtrack. The Hans Zimmerman.
Right.
It's great for while you work.
Is it Hans Zimmerman or Hans Zimmer?
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, Hans Zimmer. I said
Okay, I was
my
going to
God,
say, is this
Chris.
like, is there a new Hans Zimmerman in
No,
town?
nope.
And he's-
I
Oh
make
my
score
God, your
music.
DMs, Chris. Your
Nope.
DMs.
Hans Zimmer. Sorry. Hans Zimmer. His soundtracks are always great to work to. I felt like I was working faster.
Is this
you
real?
know?
Is this podcast real right now?
No.
Oh, yes.
Um, with the soundtrack, my DRS flap was open. I was going, 20 miles an hour faster. I was able to overtake clearly.
Mm-hmm.
It was work. But the other thing I did, and it's part of a video that's coming out, is as seen in the hit F1 movie. Have either of you, or I know, Niléane, I'm sure you're probably not that interested in it. Matt, have you had a chance to see it?
Not yet.
Okay.
See what?
Formula One movie.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. So they're very, 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 very minor spoilers. There is a scene in there where they're working on the car, and there is a Mac Studio hooked up to two Pro Display XDRs. So as seen in the hit F1 movie, the Apple TV original hit F1 movie, you can clearly design a Formula One car from two Apple displays. Well, I don't have two Pro displays, and I was not going to go buy those because I wasn't going to spend $12,000. I do have two studio displays here. Thank you, Apple, for sending me a review unit with the MacBook Air. So I put two studio displays on my desk, and I hated every second of it. But I did it for another video, and I thought it counted for the challenge because it was seen in the Formula One movie.
So
Yeah.
to be clear, your second entry is dual monitors.
Yeah, because it was in a Formula One movie.
Oh my God.
That's how they.
Thank
that's
you,
how
Matt.
They,
I lost it.
That's how they worked on the car. They had dual monitors hooked up
Okay.
to a Mac Studio. Now I had it hooked up to a MacBook Pro, but
I go away for 1 week, and this is derailed.
well, and then
so
my
much.
third thing that I did.
Okay.
So as Matt knows, it's highly rumored Max Verstappen is going to be leaving Red Bull this next year. And some people think he's going to Mercedes. Some people think he's going to Aston Martin. Well, I actually signed Max Verstappen, and he is now my assistant. So, Max, can you come over here? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Anyways, that's it. That's all I did. No, yeah, that's all I did. Neelian, what did you do
That's
for
pretty
this
good.
Formula One challenge?
So the prompt was integrate
Oh,
F1 into your workflow. Is
It's
that it?
never a good sign when someone rereads the prompt just
Yeah.
to clarify. This was
Just
the
to
exact
clarify.
wording.
Clarify.
Just to clarify.
Oh
Clarify.
boy, she's
So
about
I-
to technically do the challenge.
No,
Yep,
don't worry
yep,
about
yep,
it.
yep, yep.
Integrate F1 into the workflow. So
And
I
not
did
the
exactly
F1
that.
key.
Yeah, Formula One. So I sent you a link that you can click on. And yeah, I integrated the hell out
Oh
of
my
Formula One into my
God.
setup, into my workflow. So what you're looking at is I've got a new wallpaper, loosely inspired by the Formula One logo. It's Retina resolution.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh, you said
I
your
use that
Safari
same
background as well? Oh my God.
exactly. So the best way to integrate Formula One into my workflow is like I do a lot of work in Safari, as you know. So it's my main browser, my favorite browser. So I thought, okay, so let's add that Formula One logo as the background for my start page in Safari. Now I see it every time I open a new tab. And of course, what I've done is so the start page opens when you open a new tab. But I've set in Safari, you can also set a home page using any URL of your choice. So now when I open Safari from scratch, it just opens formula1.com. So I'm
Uh-huh.
aware immediately of what's happening. I know that Hamilton sets the pace in FP1 at Silverstone.
very exciting. Yep.
Was
Yeah,
not
that is.
aware.
Could he keep his podium streak for Silverstone?
It would be
I'm
great.
sure he will. Yeah, I'm sure he will. So, so
Niléane, there's this whole thing going on right now.
and
It's
the
a
last
whole
thing I did is just to make sure, because so I've got a 3:2 aspect ratio for my monitor, and it crops out the Formula One logo on each side. So to make sure that the Formula One logo was visible entirely, at least once in my screenshot, I have covered my desktop with Formula One
Th-
logos.
This
I
is the
love
most
this so
WebP
much.
images in one desktop in the history of the world. I think that's the funniest thing about it is they're WebP images. I don't know
Yes,
why.
web.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's just right click save to desktop.
Yes.
And I
you know
like-
what, Niléane? I vote for you for this challenge.
Thank you.
I legitimate vote for you.
I've
Man.
integrated Formula One into my workflow, and yeah, I've gone fast. That was made me fast.
Yep.
You know what I respect the most out of this? I think the WebP is just very funny. But what I like the most about this is that you're using stacks. And it looks like in the screenshot, you have expanded the today stack so that once this is done, and maybe you've already done this, you can just collapse it and then command delete and it's gone and never to be
I
seen
may
again.
not have done that already, but
Oh, then never mind. I take back my vote.
but I will say that as for the entire duration of the challenge, those logos were on my desk, my
Okay.
desktop. So,
Yeah, the entire
Okay.
duration, all week long.
yeah.
Not-
all
not just in
year.
the today,
It started
because it's in the today
January
folder.
1st.
This is
Now,
the-
I will note that there are two PNGs in the bottom left corner. That it's not completely covered in the Formula One logo.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
my
But it's, I mean,
mistake.
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, and there is a
It is
Safari
pretty good.
2 at
This is-
2xPNG. Interesting. I'm very curious how this happened. Other things I would like to call out in the screenshot that are not Formula One.
Okay.
I am so happy with the hard drive sock custom icons you have, the iPod sock hard drive icons.
Yes. Still
Lovely.
using those.
I think that's great. And then I noticed you're using widgets at the top right of
I
your
am.
home screen.
Yeah.
And I've never thought to put them there. But like when you save files, will they go up in the top right and cover the widgets, or do the files not cover the widgets?
No, they go around.
They go around it. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
shouldn't be saving files to your desktop anyways.
Well,
Yeah, I've been doing that lately.
desktop's a great place for
Chaos.
files.
Chaos. Nope, you
Uh,
create
please
a temp
don't-
folder under your documents folder.
Please don't notice that the menu bar says comfort zone recording is in 1 hour and 30 minutes. You may
Yeah.
think that I took the screenshot 1 hour 30 minutes before we started recording, but actually no. Yeah, that's a mistake.
That's a mistake. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a week old screenshot.
That's what we call
Okay,
screenshot.
sure,
Okay,
sure, sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not what I
gosh, this is
expected.
good. This is very good. This is very good. This is just pure chaos. I love it. All right. Speaking of pure chaos, it's Niléane's turn for a challenge, and she texted us very excited about this, which usually does not bode well for me or Matt. So, Niléane,
yeah.
No.
what do you have for us this week?
So I want to restore real challenges to the show because apparently they're completely gone. I go away for 1 week and the challenges don't make any sense.
technically it was your challenge last week, but you weren't here, so Matt kind of was like, well, I got something, so.
Okay.
My goodness.
Okay, so I think I will inaugurate a new format for the challenge.
Okay.
I think it's going to be fun.
Okay.
So I have a small budget
Okay.
set aside for the challenge. It's a $40 US dollars challenge, okay?
Okay.
And the challenge is, Matt and Chris, you will compete to sell me a new accessory.
Oh.
So you have 1 week to select a new accessory that's under $40 USD. I need to be able to purchase it from France, obviously. And yeah, next week when the challenge section starts, you will compete, argue each for an accessory that I should buy, and one of you will win, and the person who wins is the person who has convinced me to purchase their selected accessory.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Does it have to be a physical accessory, or could it be software?
That's a good question. I was thinking physical.
Physical. Okay, that's
do we
fine.
Do
No,
we
that's
want
a separate
software?
challenge down the road.
I think that's a
Yeah,
separate
yeah.
challenge. I think, yeah.
I was thinking of physical accessory.
Okay.
Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay.
So
under
I know the
40
budget
bucks.
is tight, but I think it makes it more fun.
Yeah, I think it makes it more fun too. I agree. I completely agree. All right.
Okay.
This is I'm actually excited about this. This is I was worried when you texted us that you but I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that just brings us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for listening, but as always, I have an end of the show question for you guys. And I want to know, what was your guys' first pet?
Oh.
Yeah.
My first pet was a turtle. So, I grew up on Réunion Island, as you may know, and on that island we have turtles that people usually adopt,
Aw.
and they live in backyards and they live happily. And when they're born, so they're tiny, tiny, tiny peas, and when they grow up, they become humongous, and they weigh a ton, not literally, but they weigh a ton. And so yeah, I had a turtle that it was a tiny baby, and when I had to let it go, which means when I left the island and then it remained with my mother, it was big like that. So I don't know, to other listeners, that's 40, 50 centimeters high. Let's
Wow,
say.
that's a big turtle.
Big turtle. Yeah, grew up fast.
Wow.
Matt, what about you?
I'm assuming goldfish don't count.
You know, that was my first one too. It's weird how similar our stories are, Matt.
I know. You're just California me. I'm Midwest Chris. Not counting goldfish from the fair. My first pet is actually my current dog.
Oh.
So I never had a pet growing up, outside of the fish, and then I got one for myself in 2018. We got him. So
Aw.
yeah, relatively recently.
Like Matt, not counting goldfish from the fair, legitimately my first pet. My first pet was a dog. His name was Bear. He was a Rhodesian Ridgeback, which is an African lion hunting dog. But he looked like Scooby-Doo, and he was the nicest dog ever. He was great.
Aw.
I miss him. He was my buddy. But yeah.
Did he solve mysteries?
He no, but he would come and sit on my bed and watch me play video games, and then try and sleep in my bed as well at night. So yeah,
Okay,
he was
sounds
great.
like a good dog.
He was
a
a
good
very
dog.
very good dog. I miss him. He's great. But thank you all so much for listening. Big thank you to Mac Stories for having us. We're a Mac Stories podcast. Be sure to go check out all the other podcasts and shows and articles and everything else. I know they have a lot of stuff happening this summer, so be sure to go check it all out. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.